Anyone want to come and chat with me for a minute? Thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm. A lot of spirit. What do we got there? What happened there?
I broke it.
Were you in a bar fight?
Nope.
Oh, good. Okay. It was doing something exciting, though, right?
Nope.
You fell off your bike.
Nope.
Fell down the stairs.
Yeah, I just tripped.
You just tripped. You need a better story. Yeah.
Figure something out.
Yeah. You were breaking up a fight at the school or something, right? Yeah. Let's go with that one. That one's good.
By
Yeah.
doing a backflip in between them, and you heroically stopped the fight.
A backflip and heroically stopped the fight. Yes, you did. Thanks for reminding me. By the way.
Yeah, that's what Victor did.
Yeah. You guys keep going. Keep going. Yeah, it's one of those days. Forgot the mic. Yeah. I'm sorry you broke your arm. You need a really good story, though. Yeah, okay. June. It's June. June is a really awesome month for birthdays. Well, first of all, because my birthday's in it, but also because the church's birthday is in it. And this year, actually, Pentecost Sunday, which we often call the birthday of the church, falls in June too. So really close to the United Church of Canada's birthday on Tuesday. Anybody else having a birthday in June? Anybody? Linda McKelvey? Are you having a birthday in June, Linda McKelvey? What are you, like 40? Yeah, every year? You have one every year. Thanks for, yeah, that's good. Birthdays are awesome, aren't they? Yeah? Are the birthdays awesome?
Yes.
Thank you. What's the difference between a birthday and an anniversary?
A birthday is like a celebration of you still being alive after a while, and anniversary is a celebration of something else still happening. I don't know. I feel like
I totally thought you were going to say it's the anniversary of something that was dead. So,
I mean, no. 'Cause
is there a difference, do you think?
I suppose not.
You suppose not?
I suppose there isn't much of a difference. Like,
Much of a
little
difference.
bit, but a birthday is like
Things.
It's different. You celebrate different things?
Yeah.
Yeah. So birthdays basically just celebrate your birth, but anniversaries can celebrate all sorts of things.
Why are you celebrating me? I didn't do any of the work when I was born. That was all her.
That's a really good point, too. Like, why do we get to celebrate the birthday when it's, our mom that did all the work? Well, that had a little bit to do with it. Talk to your parents about that.
then guys don't get a celebration.
Because then guys wouldn't get a celebration.
Yeah, there you go. Because
It's Father's
they
Day
can't
next Sunday.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh wow. That.
Yeah.
That checks out.
So they do
Okay.
get something.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Not much, though, because
Yeah,
we
no,
generally tend to ignore Father's Day.
comparatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So birthdays are a celebration of birth, your birth, but anniversaries can actually be the celebration, like the annual celebration of a whole bunch of things, right? Like wedding anniversaries, right? Wedding anniversaries, we celebrate those because, that's not a birth. Yes, it is actually, kind of, when you think about it, isn't it? I mean, something new was created when people get married. Something new happens. There's a family or a new identity for people, a new way of understanding their relationship, do you think?
We're not calling them wedding birthdays. No.
Why can't we call weddings birthdays?
Yeah, I figured you were gonna say we could just call them wedding birthdays instead of wedding anniversaries.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? Wedding birthdays. Anybody? Who's with me? Wedding birthdays. No? Dang, okay. How about, say, if a bunch of people got together and decided that they would create a new thing, like, say, a bunch of people got together and thought, wouldn't it be great if we all had one church instead of like 3 or 4 different ones. We could have one church, and then we'd be united. And let's do that. What about that? That
That
wouldn't
would
work?
not work. A lot of people, even if they want the same outcome, they have so many ways of going about it that go against other people's beliefs. And
So you don't think that would work?
I don't think so.
All right, let's all go home.
No, I thought you meant like people from like
Just generally.
like a bunch of different churches come together.
Yeah, why
Just-
not?
They're gonna not like each other that much. In a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, I don't think so.
So we shall all go home.
No. That's not, no.
Because 100 years ago, well, more than 100 years ago, a bunch of people got together and thought, hey, what if Presbyterians, Methodists, and Congregationalists got together and formed their own church?
Is that the United Church?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
It was a setup. It was a setup, Wes. It was totally a setup, yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to say it was a good idea. Yeah.
I like the idea.
You like the idea?
I like the idea.
Why wouldn't
but
it work?
In practice, people don't agree that much.
That's
like
a
that
really good
often.
point. So why do you think the people in the United Church were able to do that?
They probably already had very similar views and could get past the differences to form like a united thing.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what's so cool about the United Church is that they did have differences. We still do, but they were able to find common ground on which they were able to say, what if we made this new thing? And so they birthed the United Church of, sorry, that was a bad gesture for that. They birthed the United Church of Canada 100 years ago. So why do we say we're celebrating the 100th anniversary?
It's the 100th anniversary.
It's a birthday.
Well, you just used the word birthed. You could say they created it, and then it could be an anniversary instead.
But they created a new thing that wasn't there before. Isn't that a birth?
It all depends on how you define birth.
That's a good point. So point, counterpoint here. I think it's worth talking about. I think it's worth talking about because I think the thing about a birthday, I think when we think about an anniversary, we tend to think how many years now? And when we think birthday, I hope, and I am aware that we don't always, but I hope what we're thinking is next. What's next? What's going to happen now? Now, when you're like wee little people like yourselves, that's a more significant thing than, say, some of us older people who've had lots of years, right? But to me, it doesn't matter how old you are. The thing about a birthday is that it reminds you that you were birthed. I can't think of another way of saying that. You were here. You're here. So what are you going to do with that? What's next? Why not, instead of worrying about all of the years that we've had, why not worry about what's the next thing that's going to happen? And see, I hope that's what the church does. I hope
Worry about stuff?
maybe people what?
Make people worry about stuff?
No, I don't want, no, not worry about stuff. I hope what the United Church is doing this year isn't just celebrating 100 years of what has happened. I hope they're looking forward to what might be next, what new thing we can create, what new thing can happen. And that, so to me, that's a birthday.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I suppose I just normally think of birthdays as like a thing. I normally think of birthdays as a thing for people, but you can call it a birthday.
Why can't things have a birthday?
I mean, they can, but we call it an anniversary.
But something was created.
How you think about it, I suppose, is like the name. That didn't make any sense what I just said. That was
I think one of the ways in which we think there's a difference is we can actually like pinpoint something, right? Like if you talk about the United Church of Canada being birthed on June the 10th, 1925, it wasn't, was it really? I mean, they'd had the idea for decades. They talked about it a lot. There was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of, and then even when it was time for it to happen, they still, it was an act of Parliament created the church, which meant it had to go through Parliament, and then it had to go through the legislatures of each province. That took a couple of years. So it was actually quite some time creating this new thing.
So you're saying it was birthed before? So are you saying it was birthed before?
Yeah, it just took a long
became
time.
thing?
But we have a specific date, but it took a long time to get there. Mind you, sometimes it takes a long time for us to get here. It's an interesting thought, though, isn't it? Because it depends on how you decide what you're going to do with the day. Are you going to see it as a day where you look back, or are you going to see it as a day where you look forward? Or are you going to see it as a day where you take all of that stuff that you've learned and experienced and wonder where to go next with it? It's like the day's a hinge,
Yeah.
right? And what are you going to do with that? What's cool is, this is the day that God has made. We will rejoice and be glad. Sing it with me. This is the day that God has made. We will rejoice and be glad. Singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. We will rejoice and be glad. With me. Singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. We will rejoice and be glad. I sense your thank you for a little yay there, because I was about to say I sense your enthusiasm.
What was that segue to?
That was it. That was the segue.
Okay.
This is the day.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah.
This is the day. Let's get on with it. Off you go. Thank you for having this conversation with me.